And we are live, a new High Noon Hemp Show, a new year. We should be streaming live on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and on Twitter at Hemptations. Of course, the podcast is available as well in many places, including Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. I am Joe Clare. You can Google me if you feel like it. And the man himself, high above the Hemptations location in Sharonville, the hemp quarters, if you will. It is Beach. As the sirens go off, alerting everyone that is a new High Noon Hemp Show, at least the first one of the month. Beach, how are things in Hemptations land, Beach?
Hi, indeed. Happy New Year, everyone. 2020. All I can say, the big thing I can say about 2020 is we get to celebrate 420 for an entire month.
Absolutely.
And so, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm sure of that. I think 2019 was the discovery of CBD, and 2020 is going to continue into the CBD era of the cannabis plant, so to speak. And so, welcome everyone to the first episode of the High Noon Hemp Show this year in 2020.
Of the decade.
The first day of 2020, first day of the decade.
Crazy.
I mean, just all kinds of stuff going on here at the High Noon Hemp Show. So thank you, everyone. If you're watching now live, we so appreciate it. If you're watching later on some other version, podcast, or video, we thank you for that as well. And welcome to 2020, the High Noon Hemp Show. I'm going to start out with, I probably should have put this, well, no, this relates to us. City Beat voting is out for the best of. I'm sure that we are in the smoke store category because we won last year. We are usually in an eco business category, which I really would love to be up there. I think this year we may have to, and I haven't had a chance to go and do this, but we may have to nominate ourselves for podcasts, local podcasts, because now we have one. So go online to City Beat and to their best of voting. And, they have this funny, you have to vote on every page for something. And then find the categories that you think we're best of at Hemptations, and vote for us there as well. And so we can continue being the best of here in the high state area, as I like to call it. That's for sure. All right. Well, we've got a couple new commercials before we get on to the product spotlight. So these are 15-second commercials, little, just really quick ones, but they will be running all over the place. So here is the first one. Hit it.
Hemptations has been your trusted hemp source since 1995. We have the largest selection of hemp on the planet, including CBD. 4 locations and online at Hemptations.com. Trust Hemptations brand quality. Having Hemptations?
Starring our very own Beach.
Starring. Yes,
world famous video show host.
World famous podcast hoster, video guy. This is 64, internationally known, because we may be getting watched in France right now as well.
Lee checking in the Facebook chat area. Thank you, Lee.
Welcome,
says,
Lee.
Hey, boss.
Hey. Hope you're taking it easy there, kiddo. Product spotlight: 4 from the store, 1 from my door. The first one is from a company that's been around for a long time. It's Earthly Body. This is their CBD Daily line of products with creams. And again, they have been making lotions and creams and hemp products from the hemp oil for at least 20 years, I am guessing. This is their new line of adding CBD to some of those products because, of course, it's better. Because it is good for the skin. It is good for the topical use. The second one is a no bad ideas bucket hat. If you're looking for a new hat to get you through 2020, No Bad Ideas makes a pretty decent little hemp hat. You can see I framed that up just right so it looks like it's the Zigzag Man's wearing it. It's a little fun with angles, as we say. So,
Production value.
you know,
There you
two ads in one. Um, and the next product from the store is, I know one we've talked about before, but the hemp ice cream. As we go into 4 products an episode, it's a lot of products, and so I'm kind of now going back over some of the products we talked about. But this is the hemp scream. Eye scream is what he calls it. Again, vegan version of what you would call ice cream, obviously, made from hemp in multiples of flavors. Mocha mint is my favorite. And the last one is the Merry Hempsters Muscle Rub. This is just a classic hemp product that has been popular, for years and years and years, because it's very effective as well as to what they've got there. It's got another product, obviously, that helps. They have a cool hemp muscle rub. This is the hot hemp muscle rub version, very popular in the stores. So there you have it, 4 from the stores. Now, the one from my doors, and I've been talking about doing this for a little while, is actually one unit broken down to all of the hemp units inside. And so I carry this hemp backpack every day. I think I weighed it once, and it averages right around 20 pounds full with everything, not just the hemp. But these are just the hemp products that I carry around on a daily basis. And so you've got, and this is in my backpack. If you stop me on the street, I should have almost all this stuff on me in my backpack if I have my backpack. So you got lotions, sunblock wraps, my cards, some more lotion, my hemp knife, a hemp lighter holder with hemp wrap or cord to use. My hemp wallet, another hemp pen. That's not the one I carry in my pocket. That's the one I carry on my backpack. Just so you know, my hemp beach label, name tag, I should say. We've got some balm. I do have some of that Merry Hempsters balm. Almost every version of their balm, lip balm. My hemp sunglasses, and of course, my hemp towel, because if you don't know that the answer to everything, the universe included, is 42, then you don't know that you should always carry a towel. That's a big theme to the Hitchhikers of Galaxies, if you don't know. The book is great. The show was great. The movie is good. But anyway, that's my hemp towel that I carry around with me. Personally monogrammed so that I, can't get confused with anybody else's hemp towel that they may have. So there you have it. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, which included 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 or so different hemp products that I carry on a daily basis, folks. So don't tell me that you can't incorporate hemp into everything that you do, because there is a way and there is a will. And when you need to replace something, find that replacement made out of hemp. That's all I can say about that, this and that. And now, I'm gonna drum roll the intro.
We weren't here on Christmas, so I imagine a lot of people that day, they dressed in whatever they found in their drawers, and they just pulled the first thing out and threw it on. No rhyme or reason, no hemp incorporation, no nothing.
Much confusion.
But we're back now, so have no fear, because Beach is going to answer the most important question ever asked on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Periscope. It's the Beachwear segment. What are you wearing today, Beach?
That's true. If you woke up this morning in 2020 and you said to yourself, "What are you wearing, Beach?" Now you will know. On top of the old... That's right. Starting on top is a very old classic product, actually. This is from the New Jersey Headwear Company, which I believe was Headcase. At some point they changed names. My jacket is an old Ecolution jean jacket, classic company. The Hemp Valley shirt that I have on, and I know I've never worn this on the show before, is a shirt that I got in Amsterdam probably 10 years ago. I don't know if Hemp Valley still exists in Europe or not, but it's just a nice looking full length sleeve shirt. I got my Hemptopia briefs, my Kentucky Hemp Outfitter jeans. You can see this is the what they call the carpenter version. So you've got a pocket there for your nails or whatnot. And on the other side, if you look, and I can't see it in the picture, there's actually a loop to hold your hammer or your tool if it has a handle. Classic carpenter jean structure, so to speak. And of course, in the pocket there, if you look closely, you can see the Green Spring Technology pen, which I carry that pen on me all the time, regardless of whether I have my bag or not. Satori socks, showing off a big black leaf, and the La Fuma Pure Leaf Project shoes. And so it's 2020, and if you want to know what are you wearing, Beach, now you know.
Get dressed.
Get dressed. And here is that's right. Get out, find yourself some hemp clothes, wear them as much as you can. I will say that I am still on my hemp streak. I haven't counted recently. I'm trying to now make it to 180 days if I can, because that'd be half a year of wearing a different hemp hat every day. Just so you know, if you're just tuning in for the first time this year, I have worn a different hemp hat for I'm probably 120 days now. I'd say I'd have to, again, I'm estimating only because I know it's over 100 because we showed the pictures of the 100 hemp hats that I wore in 100 days. And now I'm just thinning out my other hemp hat shelf and seeing how long I can go. And so we're going. And I think that what I'm going to try now, I'm going to proclaim on 1/1/20 that I am going to wear a different hemp shirt every day for as long as I can. And so I'm going to start the record. You can try to break the record. You can start with me if you've got enough hemp hats or hemp shirts and see how long you can go. But I believe I've broken whatever hemp hat record there may have been before I started the hemp hat, wearing a different hemp hat every day. Now I'm going to go for shirts.
Does the Guinness Book of World Records still exist? I assume it does.
They do. They do.
They have hemp records.
The ironic thing about they don't. The funny thing about the Guinness Book of World Records is unless they're really interested in what you're doing, you have to pay them to get a record. Last time I checked, I think it was like around $700 just to submit a record to them.
It's a nice racket.
Yeah, right. Not saying that I don't think that it might be worth it just for the marketing, because I believe I know that we have the world record for hemp products. As far as the stores, pretty sure I hold the hemp record for hemp products, any one individual on the planet. I know that I've got the different hat a day record at this point, and I'll start the shirt a day record now, and I'll try to think of any other ones. And so maybe this year's the year we submit our world records to the Guinness Book of World Records.
It'd be great if they could
just to get
send a team
the ball
to
rolling.
go count all the stuff in the stores, and
wouldn't that be awesome?
They
very rarely send anybody out anymore, and they're actually based in Europe, I believe. I think it's actually based in Great Britain, which makes it even harder. I'm not saying they don't have people maybe on the ground here, but you just don't see much about them showing up anywhere. They have to really, really think it'll matter to them, I suppose. But there's a lot of records out there that people are trying to make up and come up with at this point. And so I'm sure that that's not that easy, making a little money on it. Good for them. They got to do that somehow, I suppose.
Got to print them books for something.
I'll have to say, as a kid, I loved reading the Guinness Book of World Records. My
Absolutely.
kids, I think, liked reading Guinness Book of World records. So, there's still something to them. And so, maybe this is the year, Hemptations and Beach, start filing for some legitimate world hemp records.
There you go.
So anyway, speaking of that, I don't know if we have the most amount of TV commercials for a hemp business, but I bet we do. So here's one more for the world record of hemp store TV commercials.
Your trusted source for hemp, including CBD, is Hemptations. Since 1995, Hemptations has taken pride in our selection, now including our Hemptations brand CBD. 4 locations and online at hemptations.com. Having Hemptations?
There you go.
There you go. Just a little quick 15-seconder. Just enough to grab your attention, and hopefully to get you into the old store and doing those things. I'll put a little spin on it at the end if you didn't. Actually, they put that spin on it. I just stood there. I am not that athletic. All right. Well, we got some. That's right. It's a lot. Somebody grab his feet. Anyway, quite a bit of news, I suppose. We got some events to finish out this month as well. Big news, I suppose, is that Ohio is one of the first 3 states to be federally approved. So our program has been federally approved, I believe, along with New Jersey and I don't know, some other state that not even sure if they grew hemp last year. But I suppose that's the one good thing about coming in almost last for legalizing as a state, is that we are obviously on board with the federal laws when we submitted our federal paperwork, so to speak, and have been approved. So if you get approved through the state of Ohio to grow hemp in 2020, you can say we were one of the first federally approved state programs. That being said, there's also, this is kind of fun because, and I hope I don't mess this up too much or disrespect their name, but the Flandreau Santee Sioux tribe in South Dakota got federal approval. And the ironic part about this is the South Dakota, I don't believe, has actually legalized industrial hemp yet. Maybe they did put something through, because the governor of South Dakota is like really ignorant when it comes to the facts on industrial hemp farming. Yes. And so I think it's great that, and there are 2 other Native American tribes who are seeking in, I believe, South Dakota alone, seeking federal permission to grow, so they can then tell the state to go do something else because they've been federally. So I think that's great. I think that obviously the Native Americans shouldn't have to ask. We were always meant to believe that their land was their land, and this just proves once again that it's not.
It hasn't worked out like that.
No, even if they got it in paperwork. So I love seeing the Native Americans be one of the first to do something, and especially again in South Dakota, where the governor, just total ignorance. It's really just 100% ignorance. And so good for them. Good for Ohio in one sense. I have issue with some of what we were doing or are doing with the licensing and whatnot in Ohio, but we can say we're 100% with the federal laws, so you should have 0 issues when it comes to getting approved once you're approved and moving forward. So good for us there. Big issue that I just noticed, and again, I've been seeing people talking about it online, is the whole Amazon selling CBD. And their policy is they don't. And so, of course, and this is why before most of the companies on Amazon didn't put CBD on their labels. They would call it hemp oil. Now, I was just searching Amazon for hemp product, as I do when I look for anything. I have my, I go to all the shopping outlets and see if I can find it in hemp. And so I put in just hemp. And of course, the first thing that pops up are these gummies that are supposed to have 35,000 milligrams. And this is what the label says, 35,000 milligrams of hemp oil. Okay. So you go to Amazon and you think you get this, okay, milligrams must be CBD. This was $30. Like, there's no way, nobody, CBD is getting cheap, but nobody is at 0.01 cent per milligram on the CBD side of things. So, I start doing the math. And again, as far as hemp oil goes, it's like milliliters. Like, at that point, then you're dealing with like a tiny little amount of actual hemp oil, which comes from the seed, which is great for us. And you can buy it by the 8-ounce jar for $8 or something, which is a lot of milligrams. I can't even imagine how many milligrams that would be. I should have figured that out before of hemp oil when you compare it. And so what happens then? These people, they get their hemp oil gummies, which is great. Hemp oil is good for you, but it's not CBD, and it's not going to give them, I forget how the numbers worked out, but I think they were saying like 25 milligram per gummy. So this big, huge jar, maybe even more than that. I don't know, per gummy of hemp oil, not CBD. And so, that in itself is going to cause, in my opinion, huge issues for people, because they're not going to get the relief that they're looking for that an actual CBD gummy would give them. And then they get turned off like, oh, I tried that CBD, even though it doesn't say CBD anywhere on that jar, because they were, but again, the biggest thing on the jar was 35,000 milligrams. So if you know anything about CBD at all, you know that it's judged in milligrams in almost all the products. You want to know how many milligrams are in your dosage of CBD. That's a big part of the CBD industry. It doesn't say anywhere on there about CBD. It just says hemp oil. And 35,000 milligrams of hemp oil is not that much hemp oil. All in all. And so, very misleading. And again, it's because Amazon says they won't let you sell CBD. And so, and in some of the products, I'm sure say 100 milligrams of hemp oil, and they really do mean CBD.
Yeah,
and that's the confusion.
Washington Post did like the big investigation. They got their big investigative team on this. They checked these products. They ordered 13 products, and like they tested 11 of them, and 11 of them had CBD. They contacted one CEO, and he said, "Yeah, we just took, where you have to list the ingredients or whatever. We just took CBD out. There's still CBD in it, but we just took it out because we can't sell it on Amazon any other way." But he admitted that he's selling CBD on Amazon, but they specifically forbid that.
Took it out.
Part of
that's right.
The Washington Post article was they called CBD the forbidden compound. So I thought that was great. That was a great quote. So we found many products with the forbidden compound.
The forbidden compound. I thought THC was the forbidden compound. Yeah.
The paper that brought down Richard Nixon. They're investigating Amazon for CBD products. Times we live in.
Yeah. And again, I believe there might be one state that literally has made CBD illegal, possibly, but CBD from industrial hemp, once again, tale of two CBDs. We're kind of going back to that tale of two CBDs. CBD from marijuana, so to speak, marijuana cannabis, not legal in every state. CBD from industrial hemp cannabis, I believe, is legal in every state, although I still believe there is one state, and I'm going to have to do some investigating, that may have passed an actual CBD law. So I'll look into that. But again, industrial hemp's 100% legal. And so is CBD. And Amazon isn't doing the industries any justice by doing just that, just making people change their labels.
Yeah.
Again, why? They're still going to sell the product if they can figure out how to do it. They're going to still sell the product. Just put a different label on it. and sell it. And so, I could do that too, I suppose, with our Hemptations brand CBD. Is just say it's hemp oil
Yeah.
with 300 milligrams of mystery 300 milligrams of mystery included.
A fly off the shelves.
uh,
Mystery
Fly.
ingredients.
I mean, we can only hope we would, because we would actually have CBD in our products either way. And so, um, trust me, if you go to Amazon and you see 35,000 milligrams of CBD included in a jar of gummies for $30, you are not CBD, 35,000 milligrams of hemp oil, you are not going to get any CBD. The hemp oil is healthy, but I'm sure all that pectin, I mean, it's just a big jar of sugar when you with some hemp oil in it. They've added some hemp oil to the big jar of sugar, and so that is silly. Anyway, so that's an issue. I'm sure that'll get all worked out this year. With Amazon and eBay and all those companies, if they're a company out there, a retailer online that won't let you sell a CBD product, but still will let you sell a hemp product, misconstrued as a CBD product, kind of mislabeled, or I don't want to say mislabeled, because they're actually not mislabeling, but they are confusing to a person that doesn't really know what they're doing or what they're looking for. And that's very unfair to the consumer and the industry itself, because it's not doing the industrial hemp industry any favors. That's for sure. It's just turning people off of it because it's not going to do what they were looking for it to do. The EPA. I don't know if this is bittersweet. It's not bittersweet, but it does show the approval. But the EPA has approved 10 pesticides for industrial hemp now. Luckily, 9 of those are biopesticides, so they are natural-based pesticides. 1 is a conventional pesticide. Now, again, I don't think you need pesticides to grow for anything but the flower. But now what this does is, in states like Kentucky, where if you were going to grow in the state of Kentucky, you couldn't use any pesticides because there were none approved. Now you have 10 approved pesticides, which will make growing for the flower, I think, easier. They can get a little bit lazier because they can just spray something on it, because that's the only thing where the pests are really going to make a difference. But that really means that we need to know at that point what the end result, if there is any of that pesticide residue making its way to the consumer. And again, and I don't care if it's a bio-based pesticide, that doesn't mean that we should ingest it. I mean, there are plenty of things in nature that kill bugs that surely wouldn't be good for us either. So, just because they are bio-based, so to speak, more naturally based pesticides, doesn't mean that in any way that would make their way to the consumer. And so I sure like the times when there were no approved pesticides, so you couldn't use approved pesticides because there weren't any. Now, that doesn't mean that there weren't companies using pesticides, and we are seeing that, obviously, with testing on certain product. Again, in Kentucky, I know that the hemp grown in Kentucky, because there were no approved, you couldn't use them on your crop. And so most of the stuff, unless people were pulling shenanigans and no one knew, most of the stuff most of the flour that came out of Kentucky was just pesticide free, ours included. Now we'll see if who supplies us with the CBD and the hemp oil, if they're going to start using pesticides, or they're hopefully going to stay with the pesticide free. I don't know. It's probably not going to be good. So we'll keep our eyes on that. as that kind of comes along, as they say. One of the largest organic dairy farms. I love this because if you don't know, my philosophy on milk is it's for baby cows. But one of the largest organic dairy farms in Vermont is going to switch over to hemp. I think they're probably going to do mostly CBD because it's organic. But if they grow for seed, which you can make hemp milk and seed oil, there you go with hemp milk. You can make hemp milk, which is much better for us in the long run than dairy milk, even though milk is like 90% water. Humans don't digest dairy, pure and simple. Again, it's for baby cows, and that's it. And so that's going on in Vermont. According to data published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, CBD therapy reduced myofascial pain severity and decreased masseter muscle, which is your jaw muscle, activity. And so this is obviously good for people that suffer from either one of those things. I know a little about myofascial pain. And so, but this is once again, this is data published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine. And I feel like that sounds like a reputable name. They could be just some Joe Schmo place that just happened to get that name way back in the day, and so it sounds serious now. And so once again, this is medical proof that CBD does something. Whether you suffer from myofascial pain, or you need to help your jaw muscle decrease activity. I don't know, get pain in the jaw. And so now we know somewhat that CBD is good for that as well. And so it's always nice to once again see the medical, and we're going to see more and more of this, definitely, with CBD. 2020 may be the year of medical studies, at least of them starting when it comes to CBD. So we'll start seeing a lot of results from that type of stuff one way or another. One last bit of news here, which I think is kind of fun. In an article called the Top 5 Buildings in 2019, written by Rowan Moore, and I'm not sure who that is in The Guardian. But I want to quote here, number 5 was the Flat House, and I haven't looked into it. I believe this is in Europe. Number 5 was the Flat House, and this is his quote from this article. In the year of ultra-renewable designs, I find myself choosing between a house made of hemp and one made of cork. Hemp, cork, hemp, cork. How do I decide? Hemp is the answer, if only because Flat House at Cambridgeshire seems more matter-of-fact and direct, and the Cork House in Eton a touch too elaborate. And so obviously he was trying to decide which one was going to be the number 5 design in 2019, and he went with the Hemp House. And once again, this is over in Europe, but seeing just how popular using hemp for construction material is becoming, and it's been more popular in Europe on a daily basis than it ever has in the United States. And so we're really catching up with France for sure when it comes to using hemp architecturally and construction materials, insulation, all those things. And so, that's another thing we're going to see more and more of is building with hemp in 2020. More and more hemp. 2020 is going to be the year of hemp. No, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to say that. I feel like we've already had the year of hemp, but maybe not. Maybe there's always more to come because there's so much to do. I suppose, there's so much to do. So much to do when it comes to hemp. January 3rd, coming up in a couple days, we got just locally have Queen City Hemp and Yoga at the Hue Yoga Studios down on Highland Avenue. I'll post some data on that. And again, all of the events that I talk about on the High Noon Hemp Show during the hemp news segment and events are listed on the second page of hemptations.com. And so on the first page, you can find all the stuff that we do and whatnot. And on the second page, you can find these events that I'm talking about that are not just Cincinnati, but all over the world. If it's a hemp event, it's somewhat related, then I try to give it a little shot here, but then I list stuff on the website. So check out everything here. January 10th and the 11th, we got the Midwest iHemp Expo in Lansing, Michigan. January 16th, the Colorado Winter Hemp Summit out in Boulder, Colorado. January 18th and 19th, the Hemp World Expo in Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta Expo Center North. That sounds very interesting. January 23rd, 26th, I've been talking about this for a while. If you're a contractor, you want to build with hemp, you've got a contractor training program going out in Ketchum, Idaho. Start making your plans for that. It's only 3 weeks away. January 24th, you have Growing Hemp in Ohio, separating fact from fiction in Wooster, Ohio. And so I don't know anything about this, but if you want to grow in Ohio, this sounds like somewhere where you might be able to get the right answers one way or another. January 27th, 28th, you've got the Hemp Summit in Chicago. Illinois just went today. Kudos, right. Illinois, on that, by the way. Wink, wink. But this is the Hemp Summit in Chicago. Chicago's always a nice town to go to and explore. Expensive, but nice. And then January 28th through the 30th, you've got the Texas Hemp Convention. Sure to be the largest one on the planet because it's in Texas. And as we all know, everything's bigger in Texas. That's not a song, but I just made one up. I'm sure that they probably sing that every day in Texas, actually. And then
they do it right after it.
Yeah, that's right.
Pledge allegiance than the Texas song.
Then everything's bigger in Texas song. And then first thing actually in February I've got so far is OFA, which is the Ohio Ecological Food and Farm Association's yearly event. This year it's in Dayton, and they are doing a full day session on hemp farming. And so that's it for the High Noon Hemp Show this week. As you know, you can watch us live as you just did. And if you don't know, then you're probably on YouTube or maybe Podbean or iHeart listening to the podcast or any one of those other means that is out there to take in
everywhere
the High Noon Hemp Show. I'd like to wish everyone once again a Hempy New Year 2020, where we get to celebrate 420 for an entire month. It's going to be interesting how we do that, folks. Oh, yes, it is. So anyway, thanks again for watching the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Beach, high above the hemp quarters in Sharonville. He is Joe over there. Do a little thoughts with Joe. His family was in a car accident. They are all doing better and are doing well, but are still on the to recovery. So, throw some good thoughts, good vibes over the river if you're in Cincinnati or towards that area.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again. We are the High Noon Hemp Show, and remember, reduce, recycle, reuse. I just totally messed that up. I think that's the first time I messed that up.
Take two,
because it really should. It really should be reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having hemptations.
See you all next week.
Peace.